Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Storytime Bachelor Nation. You are going to love this one. And if you don't watch The Bachelor or Bachelorette, I think you will still enjoy this one. It is with Connor Saeli from Hannah Brown's season. And I cannot wait for y'all to hear it. He was personally one of my favorites on both Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise. I am so thrilled that I get to sit with him and hear his stories, and I hope y'all enjoy the episode. All right, everyone, welcome back. We are here with one of my all-time favorite Bachelor Nation people, Connor Saeli. Connor, how are you doing?
What is up? I'm doing good. I appreciate the love. I am so humble to be your favorite. Um, I don't think I'm that great amongst the other Bachelor Nation people, but I appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
Well, it's funny. I don't ever fangirl. Just I've worked in sports for too long to fangirl over anyone. But my coworkers and I would always talk the show. So you were always on Hannah season and Bachelor in Paradise. So when you said you would come on the show, I was like, this is my all-time favorite episode. So appreciate you.
Perfect. Well, I'm excited to be on here.
Good. Well, let's go ahead and start with the question that I'm really interested to know, because I would never have the guts to do it. But what made you apply to be on The Bachelorette?
So it's a very interesting story. My sister used to watch the show when I was younger, and I would happen to watch it with her. So I had seen some seasons of it, and then when she left to go to college, I started watching with my friends, and it was kind of just like something fun that we would do every once in a while. We'd like play games and stuff while it was on. So it was always a joke with my high school friends and I. If I was 24, 25, and single, someone would nominate me to be on the show. And so flash forward, graduating college, working at a job out of college. I was 24 at the time. Um, I got a phone call the week after Thanksgiving of 2018, and it was a producer from the show. And they were like, hey, someone nominated you to be on The Bachelorette. We just wanted to give you a call and see if you'd be interested in like talking with us. And, I was 24, single. Was like looking for a new experience in my life and thought, why not? We'll just see where this goes. And it's interesting hearing about everyone's like casting process and how they got into it. But um, I had no idea what I was getting into because the friend nominated me without telling me. So it was just a completely blind thing. And I know a lot of people have to like go to casting events and all that stuff, but they didn't have me like do a video or anything. We did a Skype thing, and then immediately they flew to Dallas and met me in person. So it went very quickly for me, but the whole experience was just so crazy how it went, you know, this thing that was a joke when I was so young turned into reality later on in life.
That's so crazy that you didn't even get a heads up. What did your friends say when you eventually told them, hey, I'm actually going to be on the show?
Well, they were super excited. I think I guess I wasn't home for Thanksgiving that year, but I think the last time I had seen that group of friends, we were still kind of joking about it. They're like, "Oh, we should nominate you for the best." I was like, "Ah, yeah, that's funny." And you kind of have that thought of like, "Oh, I'll never get on" or whatever. Like so many people apply, and so they were all super excited to see that I was on. And I actually didn't tell. I only told the person that had nominated me. I didn't tell. I told two of my other friends. So it was a very big surprise when everyone saw me on TV. And I was on Colton's finale after the final rose. That's when I met Hannah.
Mhm.
And so I think everyone was pretty shocked to see me on that and then have no communication with me for like 2 months. I remember I turned my phone on for the first time because they take your phone right away. I think I had 2,000 text messages. Uh,
What?
it was so crazy. So there's definitely a lot of fans of the show amongst people that I know.
So then watching it back, you mentioned your sister used to watch the show. Um, did you watch your season with her, or were you like, I don't want to watch it with family?
Watching yourself on TV is one of the weirdest experiences I think anyone can ever go through in their life. And especially a show like The Bachelor that's so widely viewed and talked about. Some people really embrace it and love it. I had to watch every show by myself, sitting in my bed in my bedroom. I couldn't watch it with anyone else just because I don't know. And then also like there's part of it you want to enjoy the experience of watching yourself on TV, even though it's super weird. But when you watch it with friends and stuff, there's a lot of like pausing, like, oh, what happened here? Like, explain
Mhm.
this. Hard to really enjoy the episode. So that's kind of tough. So I did watch The Bachelorette by myself. Paradise, I didn't watch all of it because I did not necessarily enjoy my experience on Paradise. And I kind of have a philosophy now of like, it was a great experience. Yes, I can watch it and watch all these shows back, but I also lived through it. So I don't know. I feel like I kind of got the firsthand look at everything. I don't know if I need to watch it anymore.
Is there anything that happened? Because obviously, editing plays a huge role in the show, just trying to get everything into 2 hours a week. But is there anything that happened during the season, whether it was with the guys or with Hannah, that you wish would have been on the show?
Um, Not really. So I feel I kind of firmly believe this. I think the way people are portrayed is pretty accurate. On Hannah's season in particular, at the end of the day, everything that's shown on TV, someone said that or they did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really only the people that don't look good that try and justify it, saying it was editing or whatever. And sure, there's editing that goes on, but you still said and did that stuff. So I really think everything that they showed, people were like that. So on The Bachelorette, I really don't think there's anything I wish they would have changed. Now it's tough watching things back on TV because you film every day for 24 hours
Mm-hmm.
and maybe show like a 30-second conversation that you have. So that's frustrating watching it. And I think, for me, like I made it pretty deep into the season and they like once it gets later on in the season, they really focus on specific relationships more than others. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's frustrating once it gets further because once I did get sent home, seeing some people being like, well, who is this person or whatever. And like totally understand that because I wasn't shown a ton, especially towards the end. But it's frustrating because, when you're there in that environment, like you definitely feel there's definitely like a relationship there. Now it
Mm-hmm.
might not be as strong as other people's, but um, there's still a relationship. So I was sad when Hannah sent me home and all that, but I guess I wish they would have shown more of that relationship developing.
That's a really good point, and I wish people would have gotten to see it more too. Because you're so right, and you can tell already on Claire, well now Tasha's season, like they
Mm.
definitely focus in on specific people more. So that's a good point. And then I know you said Bachelor in Paradise was not the best experience for you, but does that end the Bachelor series? Like, would you ever go do another show again?
Um, it's funny. I was just talking on another. Blake.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
just did his podcast actually, and he asked me the same question. Uh, so I actually am. I was just on another show on the Bradshaw Bunch.
Okay.
So I was dating Terry Bradshaw's daughter, Rachel,
Got it.
um, for a little bit this past summer, and they have a new show on and so I was on there. But when it comes to Paradise and other things like that, we'll see. It's one of those things that if I'm single and there's someone I'm genuinely interested in that's
Mhm.
going, then sure, I might go. And I think also I would need to have a conversation with the producers beforehand because I really think that environment can work for people. But
Hmm.
I think the way that it's set up sometimes isn't conducive to finding love. It's more conducive to generating drama.
Hmm.
And if I'm going back on that show, I want to find my person. I don't want to deal with this other BS that everyone has to deal with when they go on. So, I just want to make it very clear to them that if I do go on, I have certain expectations. Now, at the end of the day, it's a show. They're probably going to do whatever they want, but it's important for me if I am going to go on. I want to be interested in someone and actually have the opportunity to grow a relationship and see if that's a person that I want to, be with.
I think that's great. And that's what I personally feel most people should want going into it, not necessarily the
Unfortunately,
drama.
yeah. Unfortunately, it's not though.
Yeah,
You'd be surprised.
it's crazy. But you did mention when you turned your phone back on, you had 2,000 text messages. And I'm assuming a huge following. Then I know you have a pretty big following now on social media. But what was it like when the season started airing and people were recognizing you when you were out and about?
Yeah, I mean that whole part is, it's crazy in itself going on the show, but I think nothing really prepares you for what's to come after. And, I just like the first episode, I think after the first episode, I went to Whole Foods and was checking out, and someone was like taking a video of me. It's like, what in the world is going on?
What?
And it just really is life changing in a way, not in like a, oh, I'm a billionaire now, like not in that way, but like in the way that it brings a lot of attention to your life. And I don't think anything can prepare you for that. And the show does not prepare you for that at all. So it's pretty shocking when you go from, I was just a normal, and I still am a normal guy, but I was just working a normal job and, normal like finance job in Dallas to all of a sudden, getting a social following and posting on Instagram more and all this stuff. It's just, that whole thing is so crazy, and it's crazy how that has played a bigger role in the show each and every year as social media has grown. So, I mean, it'll be interesting as the seasons go on to see how much bigger social media plays into it. But it is it's crazy like watching yourself on TV and then you know all the comments on social media, and everything you do on the show is micro analyzed,
Mhm.
and so in a way, it's probably good not to be shown a lot on the show because like that kind of means you're doing something right. It means you're
True.
staying in drama. So, um, but yeah, the whole social media thing was wild.
Has there been anything, whether it's in person or on social media, that was maybe sent to you in a DM or a comment or said to you in person where you're like, I don't know how I feel about this whole like instant fame thing anymore?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting DMs that have happened. No, I mean, like a bunch of people have, not a bunch, but a few people have emailed me about buying my underwear and stuff like that. Like
What?
I think that's kind of funny. It obviously it's weird, but it's like fun. It's so weird and funny. Um, but yeah, there's things like that. One thing I do have to say though, and talking about the DMs, and I was just talking about this with Mike. So many people, like a lot of people, send DMs to other people, and not I'm not just talking about myself, but to anyone.
Mhm.
One of the biggest things that I don't understand is a lot of those people, their profiles are in private. And so you might say something super nice to someone, but at the end of the day, you got to kind of view Instagram, if you're DMing someone as a dating app, right?
Mhm.
And on a dating app, you can see someone, you can see their lifestyle, maybe their friends, if they have a pet, like things like that. And you don't get any of that context when someone sends you a DM and their profile's on private. And so I'm sorry if your profile's on private, but this is my advice to anyone, guy or girl, sending someone a DM, trying to slide in there. If you're going to do it, make your profile public because the I 100% the person's going to click on it and they're not going to know what to do with that message. So For anyone listening, that's my advice. I'm just saying. It happens all the time.
I am not like gutsy enough to just slide into DMs, but my profile is on private. So I know now if I ever attempt to do that, I'll put it on public.
There you go.
And then you've also had obviously amazing things come out of the show. Just so many opportunities business wise and all of that. So, what has been the absolute best thing that you've gotten from appearing on TV?
That's tough. Um, I think so obviously like a lot of cool opportunities and all of that stuff have come from the show and like business things and
Mhm.
meeting all these amazing people. But I think the biggest thing is just like, and this is going to sound cheesy, but like personal growth in the sense that before the show, I was always this very closed off, quiet, reserved person. I would say no to a lot of things. I wasn't like, I wasn't willing to go out of my way to like see friends and meet new people and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it was actually 2 weeks before I had gotten that call from the producer about being nominated that I had actually walked into work and had a conversation about quitting my job just because I wasn't enjoying it anymore
Mhm.
and wanted to start my own business. And so it was kind of that point in my life once I had really made that change and was like, I'm going to do what I want to do, what makes me happy. That's when all these amazing things started happening in my life. And it was not that I manifested being on The Bachelor, but it was crazy how that happened right after I'd quit. So um, the whole situation was wild, but I think it just kind of taught me like, if you want something in life, go after it, do it. If there's a girl you like, let her know that. If there's a business you want to start, go start it. If you want to travel somewhere, go do it. And we all have these self-limiting thoughts that we think about that will tell us why we can't do something, why we shouldn't do something. But you just got to push through that and do it. I've had so many amazing experiences over the last year that if I had those self-limiting doubts, if this was old Connor from 2 years ago, I would have never done those things. But I'm so happy and fortunate to have had these experiences because I think it's brought so much growth and learning to my life.
I should have had you on the show earlier because all this life advice, like, I feel like
Hey,
people are going to learn so much from you in this episode. So
yeah, well,
appreciate that.
if I have a lot to learn myself, and to be honest, I need to practice what I preach more too. I was talking to this about someone the other day, a student at UT, and they were asking me about like business advice, and I was like, I might not be the best person to ask for advice because I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do the rest of my life and all of that stuff. But it's fun hearing perspectives from other people and how their outlooks on life and how they look at business or relationships and whatever. And I think you can kind of learn a lot and grow a lot just from listening to other people. So
I agree. And you actually do, like you said, you have your own business, Sail Wellness. So, how did that all start? I know you said you quit your job because you wanted to start the
Mhm.
business, but just kind of what's happened since you started it and why did you start it?
Yeah. So obviously going onto the show, I knew like before I went on, I wanted to start a business. And um, so I went on the show and I had, you don't sleep well when you're on there just because it's this like giant psychology experiment, to be honest. Your brain's always going, you're always sleep deprived, all that stuff. So it's impossible to fall asleep. And when I got off the show, I started thinking, hey, like what do I want to do next? Like these shows were great, but like what, I gotta do something. So I just kind of went back to the drawing board and was like, was trying to think of a business idea. I'm not sleeping well. I think some of the best business ideas come from looking at analyzing our own lives and seeing problems that we have. And one was that I wasn't sleeping well and thought, hey, I wonder if this is a business idea.
Mhm.
And kind of tried a bunch of products, some worked, some didn't. And um, ultimately got in touch with someone who had co-founded another sports nutrition brand, and we talked about it. He loved the idea and just got to starting it up. It was pretty exciting. And it's been interesting starting a business. I don't think a lot of people realize all of the work that goes into it. Being an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, it just on the surface it looks like this super exciting and sexy thing, but you gotta be willing to grind and work all the time, because at the end of the day, that's your baby. That's your business. So everything falls back onto you. But it's been that's one of those other things that's been super rewarding for me to do, and probably something I wouldn't have done with old Connor from 2 years ago. But I think all of these experiences have really given me a lot of confidence in myself, and have you know allowed me to trust myself and get rid of those self doubt thoughts.
That's great. And I definitely need to look into that because my anxiety, especially during COVID, has been like through the
Mm.
roof and I'm barely sleeping. So I will definitely need to check it out. And a lot of people right now are struggling with just like sleep and their bodies and minds and all of that. So where can people go to find out more information about your business?
Yeah. If they want to go to sael.com, sael.com, everything's on there. And then
Perfect.
anyone that's interested in travel and adventure, I'm opening a glamping resort with my buddy. So that more info soon to come on that one, but that's super exciting and something I'm personally gonna love using myself. So I'm pumped for it.
I feel like it's going to be in a really cool location too. Just a feeling.
Hmm. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, Connor, thank you so much for joining me. I know I asked where they can follow your business, but where can people follow you on social media? And just for everybody that's going to try to slide into his DMs, remember that your profile needs to be on public.
Hey, it doesn't need to be on public, but I'm just saying the success rate might be higher. Um, but yeah, no, my Instagram is Con Sail Away, and then more importantly, the TikTok is Connor Saeli.
Oh,
So if you want to see some terrible dancing and feel better about yourself, check that out. It's cringy, but it'll make you smile. It'll make you smile for sure.
are you? So I was a former cheerleader. I cheered for like 8 years. So I kind of have choreography down, but I don't have the self confidence to get a TikTok.
Oh, come
How
on.
long does, there's no way. Like, imagine that coming up 10 years from now. I would be so embarrassed. Like, I don't have that confidence you have.
Whenever I have kids, if they're on TikTok, they're going to be pretty embarrassed. So, hopefully TikTok doesn't exist whenever I have kids. But look, at the end of the day, I everything we've talked about, I feel like I've talked to people about this lately. This is great. Uh, but I think social media is supposed to be fun, right? And I think a lot of times, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, anything, the fun is taken out of it because we all overanalyze what we're posting. We try and post what the Kardashians post, like all that stuff. We try to like keep up with all these people because we think we need to be like them. But um, at the end of the day, that's not fun. That's not a fun thing to do. And I think TikTok is so cool, and especially for you because you actually know what you're doing. You know how to dance. Like you would be perfect for TikTok. You got to get on there. But I think TikTok especially is supposed to be a fun platform. Now, there are a lot of haters on TikTok, I will say. So you got to have thick skin, but there's haters everywhere, and if people are hating on you, you're doing something right. So I think you should get on there. I'm gonna be looking out for it too.
Done.
I better see a little, some woes from you. A little renegade dance. What
Uh, I
you gotta
don't.
get on there.
There's no way.
Hey, here. All right. You can't tell me that I just posted this.
Okay.
So you can't tell me this is.
I think I'm falling in love. She said, what you know about love? You everything I got, what you need. Woke up in the store and get what you want. Go ahead, you get what you please. We about to get it on. I think
See,
That's how you're gonna get all the ladies right there.
you can't tell me that's a good dance. That is not a good dance. I know it's cringy, and you just got to have fun with it. It's fun if you can go into it almost making fun of yourself in a way. I think that's how you have a really enjoyable experience with it.
I want to know, is somebody recording you doing that, or is it just like up on a shelf?
No, Mike has like a little phone holder, so we just use that. Otherwise, I don't think I'd be able to take myself seriously if someone else was doing that. But yeah, we do every video that Mike and I film on TikTok. I see it, I practice it for 1 minute, and then we do one take because I think people put it there. There's people that are great at TikTok, and like if they want to put effort into it, that's amazing. Especially the good dancers, like you. But for someone like
No
me,
pressure.
who I know I'm a bad dancer, I'm just gonna have fun with it. And if the dance turns out terrible, then that's what people are gonna see. So I just want to be myself on there, be authentic, be me, and that's if people go to that and see it, yeah, it's gonna be a little cringy, but I think people will get a good laugh out of it, and that's what I hope I can put a smile on someone's face and hopefully make them feel better about themselves.
No, you're a great dancer. I will get on TikTok eventually, but
Hey,
then you have to promise.
end of this weekend, I better see a little dance video up there.
All right, just for you. But then you have to promise if we're ever in the same city, we do a collab since you're the one
Let's
that's
do it.
forcing me to get one.
Let's do it.
Perfect. Well, Connor, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate you so much. And good luck with everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it.